Okay, so I was going to send you a screenshot, but I thought this deserved a little bit more explanation given the way that this answer was written. So you're going to set this up just like you would long division. Remember in elementary how you would do, let's say, if you were told to divide 127 by 3, right? You would put 127 in the box, and then you'd put 3 on the outside and say 3 goes into 1, 0 times 3 is 0. Then you would subtract, and then you bring down the next number. 3 into 12 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Then you subtract, and then you bring down the next number. 3 into 7 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Then you subtract, and then you would put the decimal, and you'd bring down the next number, right? So that's what we're doing. That's what we are doing long division with this every single time. So let me erase this. That's just to remind you of what we're doing. We're just doing long division. So we're going to set it up the same way. We are going to say in the long box, if I can get my pen back here, 5x cubed minus 4x squared minus 2x, and then x plus 1 is what we're dividing by. Now, I know you're going to be like, how can we divide by two things? We don't, not really. What we really do is we divide by the first term, which is the x term. Because all of these have x in them, that's the one we're going to worry about. But we also have to apply this as we go. So we look at this one first and apply this later. Okay? So step 1, we set it up in a box. Step 2, we ask ourselves, what times x gives us 5x cubed? Well, that's 5x squared. 5x squared times x equals 5x cubed, right? And that's the number we're looking for. So that's the number that goes up here. 5x squared times x gives us 5x cubed. But this is where we have to take the other term into account. Once we get the quotient up here, then we apply the quotient to everything in the divisor. So 5x squared times a positive 1 is a positive 5x squared, right? Now that we're done with all our terms, the next step in long division is to subtract. So we change all of these to negatives. We change the sign, and then we subtract. So 5x cubed minus 5x cubed is 0. And negative 4x squared plus a negative 5x squared is negative 9x squared. Now that we're done with our subtraction, we bring the next term down, which would be minus 2x. Okay, and we can kind of ignore the 0 if that makes it easier. Now we look at this first term with the x. And again, we ask ourselves, x times what gives us a negative 9x squared? Well, that would be negative 9x, right? That gives us negative 9x squared. That's what we're looking for. So that's the answer that goes up here is negative 9x. Negative 9x times x gives us a negative 9x squared. Now we remember the second term. Negative 9x times a positive 1 is a negative 9x. Now we subtract. We change the sign. So that becomes positive and that becomes positive. Negative 9x squared and a positive 9x squared. This is how you know you've done it right. You should have a 0 when you combine these terms. So they go away. Now we combine these terms, and that would be a positive 7x. Right? Right. So now we do the same thing again. X times what gives us 7x? Well, that would be times 7. That's the term we're looking for. And it's a positive 7, so we go positive 7. So 7 times x gives us 7x. And there is nothing to take. So what we do is we say plus 0. Because that does not affect the value of all of this, right? We can do plus 0 so we have something to bring down for the second term. 7 times 1 is a positive 7. change the sign. This cancels, right? So then this becomes a 0. This becomes -7. There are no more x terms. There's none. So our remainder is going to be -7 divided by x plus 1. That is our answer. So the answer that goes in here is 5x squared minus 9x plus 7 minus 7 over x plus 1. That would be what we're asking for here. All right. All right, this is from quiz 22. I think I'm going to do a video on quiz 22 here in just a moment. I was just trying to solve any single problems that I thought you might have, so we'll skip this one when I get to quiz 22 for you. I'll make that video a little bit shorter. But anyway, I thought if I could help you with individuals, that would help you go faster. And this is one specifically that you sent me just a minute ago. All right, anyway, I'm going to send this to you, and then we'll go through the rest here shortly.